When the degree of polynomial is 2 or when the highest power of x is 2, the expression is called quadratic expression. Equate it to 0 and we get a quadratic equation. A is not equal to 0 because if the coefficient of x square is 0, the equation will become a linear equation. How to solve such equations? X square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now here the coefficient of x square is 1. Now to solve this, think of two numbers m and n such that their sum is equal to coefficient of x, which is 5, and their product m into n is equal to product of coefficient of x square and the constant term, which is 1 into 6, 6. So we have m plus n as 5 and m into n as 6. Now think about the values of m and n. Only numbers that satisfy these conditions are 2 and 3. So m is 2 and n is 3. Or you can say m is 3 and n is 2. That won't make any difference. The next step is to break the coefficient of x and write it as sum of m and n. Write down 5 as 2 plus 3. Open the brackets. X square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now take pairs of two terms and take out common elements outside the brackets. From x square plus 2x we can take x common, and from 3x plus 6 we can take out 3 common. One more time, we'll take out the common term again. Here the bracket x plus 2 is common. Take it outside and get x plus 2 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. The product of two terms is 0. So either the first term is 0 or the second term is 0. One of them has to be 0. Then only we can get the product 0. Now x plus 2 is 0 or x plus 3 is 0. X plus 2 equal to 0 gives us x is equal to minus 2. And x plus 3 equal to 0 gives us x equal to minus 3. The values of x could be minus 2 or minus 3. We can say minus 2 and minus 3 are the roots of this quadratic equation. Now there is an important thing to note here. Values of m and n were 2 and 3. And from there only we could have said that the equation will factorize as x plus 2 into x plus 3 and the roots will come out as minus 2 and minus 3. So from the values of m and n, once you have found the two numbers to break the middle term, no need to solve further. We could have directly said that m and n are 2 and 3, so the answer will be minus 2 and minus 3. Now this point will be clear from the second example. Here the coefficient of x square is 2. Multiply it with the constant term 2 into 6, 12. Now think of two numbers m and n such that m into n is 12. M plus n is equal to coefficient of x, that is minus 7. 2 into 6 is 12, but 2 plus 6 is not minus 7. 4 into 3 is 12, but 4 plus 3 is not minus 7. It is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. But this gives us an idea that if we take minus 4 and minus 3, the product will be 12 and the sum will be minus 7. So the two numbers we are looking for are minus 4 and minus 3. So our quadratic equation will factorize as x minus 4 into x minus 3. And just like we did in the previous example, we can directly say the values of x will come out to be 4 and 3. Right? Wrong. Minus 7x in our equation could be broken as minus 4x minus 3x. Take two terms at a time and take out the common elements. 2x into x minus 2 minus 3 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. Again x minus 2 could be taken out common. X minus 2 into 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now either the first term is 0 or the second term is 0. So we will get the values of x as 2 or 3 by 2. If you look at what we got earlier, 4 and 3, that solution only has got divided by the coefficient of x square. 4 got divided by 2 and it gave us 2, and 3 divided by 2 gives us 3 by 2 as the final solution. But in the previous example, we got the answer directly. We didn't divide it by anything, because there the coefficient of x square was 1 only. Getting it? Think of two numbers m and n and write the answers directly by dividing with the coefficient of x square. I hope this method is clear to you, as this is what we will use every time we come across a quadratic equation from now on. And this quadratic expression will be factorized as 2 into x minus 4 by 2 into x minus 3 by 2. Next question, we'll quickly solve it. 3 into minus 12 is minus 36. Think of two numbers m and n whose product is minus 36 and sum is 5. 4 into 9 gives us 36, but sum should be 5. So we will take minus 4 and 9. M is minus 4 and n is 9. Now we can directly write the answer. The value of x will be 4 and minus 9. But wait, don't forget to divide by the coefficient of x square. That is 3. Coefficient of x square is 3. So x will be 4 by 3 and another value of x will be minus 9 by 3. Right? Now another method of solving quadratic equations is by making perfect squares. Now this is not a method we usually go for, but it is important to have a look at it. Same question as before. Take the constant term to the right, we will get 3x square plus 5x is equal to 12. Next, divide both the sides by coefficient of x square. To make the coefficient of x square 1, we will divide both the sides by coefficient of x square. So x square plus 5 by 3x is equal to 4. Now we will make a perfect square in the left by using the formula a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a plus b whole square. Now here a square and b square are directly relatable. We can say a is x, but what about b? 2xb, the linear term of x, should be equal to 5 by 3x of our expression. So b will come out to be 5 by 6. Now we can create a perfect square. A plus b whole square will be x plus 5 by 6 whole square. Now this x plus 5 by 6 whole square will open as x square plus 5 by 3x plus there will be a 25 by 36 extra, which is not there in the left hand side earlier. So we'll subtract this extra 25 by 36 from our perfect square, and this is equal to right hand side 4. Take 25 by 36 to the right, take LCM and add 4 plus 25 by 36. This is 169 by 36. Now on taking square root both the sides, we will get x plus 5 by 6 is equal to plus minus 13 upon 6. We will get one value of x by taking plus 13 upon 6 and another value of x by taking minus 13 upon 6. So x will be either 4 by 3 or minus 3. Now this method of creating a perfect square, let's use this method to find minimum value of f of x, which is ax square plus bx plus c. A could be taken out common. Now to create a perfect square, we will have to generate m square plus 2mn plus n square format, right? So clearly m is equal to x and 2n will be equal to b by a. This gives us n is equal to b by 2a. So our perfect square m plus n whole square is nothing but x plus b by a whole square. But x plus b by a whole square will open like this, right? This x square plus b by a is what we want. But b square upon 4a square is extra that we don't want. So this we are going to subtract from our perfect square. Then this c by a will come as it is, and this a outside the bracket will also come as it is. Now for minimum value of f of x, this part containing x should be minimum. We can only vary the variable part, right? So we have to bring this part to the minimum. Now it's a perfect square, so it cannot be negative. So the minimum it can become will be 0. X plus b by 2a is 0. That means x will be equal to minus b by 2a. Put this value of x back into our quadratic function. F of x will come out as minus b square minus 4ac upon 4a. This b square minus 4ac is called as discriminant of a quadratic, also denoted by capital D. So in the next video, when we are going to draw the graph of quadratic function, our xy coordinates of minima will be minus b by 2a, comma, minus d by 4a. Now this creating a perfect square method could be extended to get a formula. Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is our quadratic expression. Take c to the right hand side and divide both the sides by a. Now if I add b by 2a whole square to both the sides, then in left hand side we can create a perfect square. This is x plus b by 2a whole square, and right hand side will be minus c by a plus b square upon 4a square. This right hand side will come out as p square minus 4ac upon 4a square. Take square root both the sides. A plus minus sign will come in the right hand side. X will come out to be minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now there is a plus minus sign in between. So for one root we will go with the plus sign, and for another we will go with the minus sign. In this example, value of a is 3, b is 5 and c is minus 12. Put these values in the formula and get the values of alpha and beta. One root will come out as 4 by 3 and other root will come out as minus 3. Now there are many other methods as well, but method number 1 is what we usually go by. If you cannot break the middle term into m and n easily, then go with the formula method. On that note, I'd like to end this session. Thank you.